B-32 Dominator was a heavy bomber developed for the United States Army Air Force during World War II. While it was intended to be an improved version of the earlier B-29 Superfortress, the B-32 Dominator faced several significant flaws and issues that limited its effectiveness and ultimately led to its relatively short operational life. Design complexity. The B-32 Dominator's design complexity surpassed that of its contemporary, the B-29 Superfortress. This intricate design incorporated advanced features like pressurized crew compartments and remote control gun turrets. Yet these innovations escalated the number of components, subsystems, and their interdependencies. Consequently, manufacturing encountered challenges in producing specialized parts and executing intricate assembly, leading to delays and supply chain strains. Maintenance and repair activities became prolonged due to the need for hard checks on interconnected systems, amplifying downtime. Problems with the pressurized systems, engine cooling issues, weak landing gears, and the gun turrets resulted in the schedule to get pushed further back. Like the B-29s, the B-32 was meant for high-altitude bombing missions. However, the problematic pressurization system from the prototype was never fixed. Therefore, it was decided to do away with the pressurization system altogether, relegating the B-32 to low and medium altitude missions. Weight and performance. The B-32 Dominator's considerable weight posed a deterrent to its performance characteristics as a notably heavy aircraft. Its agility and maneuverability suffered, resulting in suboptimal flight dynamics. The aircraft's top speed and climb rates were notably inferior, rendering it susceptible to interception by enemy fighters and anti-aircraft defenses. The combination of its weight-induced limitations and reduced speed made the B-32 a prime target for adversaries, further compromising its effectiveness in combat situations. Engine problems. The B-32 Dominator grappled with persistent engine problems attributed to its utilization of Pratt & Whitney Wright R3350 duplex cyclone engines. Both the B-29 and the B-32 used these air-cooled engines. Several of the delays in the B-29 and B-32 programs were due to issues with these engines. Problems with the lack of cooling and oiling issues plagued both aircraft during development. Renowned for their complexity and demanding maintenance requirements, these engines proved temperamental, leading to frequent malfunctions and failures. Such reliability issues not only grounded aircraft for repairs but also placed additional strain on maintenance crews. The engine-related setbacks comprised the B-32's operational readiness, limiting its availability for missions and hindering its overall effectiveness as a heavy bomber. Limited maneuverability. The B-32 Dominator suffered from restricted maneuverability, primarily due to its substantial size and weight. B-32 Dominator had a maximum takeoff weight of around 82,500 pounds. This hindered its ability to evade enemy threats effectively, rendering it vulnerable to fighter attacks and anti-aircraft fire. The aircraft's bulkiness and reduced agility made it challenging to execute evasive maneuvers, limiting its capacity to navigate complex combat situations. This limitation in maneuverability significantly undermined the B-32's defensive capabilities, putting it at a disadvantage in engagements with enemy interceptors and thereby impacting its overall combat performance. Late introduction. B-32 Dominator faced delays in its deployment, resulting in its operational introduction occurring relatively late in World War II. By that time, it was ready for combat. The strategic bombing campaign was already well underway with established bombers like the B-17 and B-29. The B-32's late arrival limited its opportunity to make a significant impact during the crucial phases of the war. Additionally, the evolving tactics of the conflict and internal competition further constrained the B-32's role, ultimately diminishing its operational significance in the war effort. The first B-32 combat missions were not flown until May 1945 in the Philippines and Formosa. It was used as a bomber until late July and then in photo reconnaissance role in August after the Japanese declared a ceasefire. Vulnerability to fighter attacks. The vulnerability of the B-32 Dominator to fighter attacks stemmed from its limited agility and defensive maneuverability due to its substantial size and weight. This, combined with an insufficiently powerful defensive armament and slow speed, made it an attractive target for enemy fighters. The aircraft's reduced ability to evade or counter fighter attacks left it exposed to sustained engagements, ultimately undermining its combat effectiveness as a heavy bomber during World War II. After the ceasefire with Japan on August 15, 1945, the B-32 was used to ensure compliance with the ceasefire agreement. However, on August 13, 1945, a pair of B-32s were flying a photo reconnaissance mission over Tokyo when they were attacked by over a dozen Japanese fighters. The first B-32, flying at 20,000 feet, suffered no damage. The other B-32, flying at 10,000 feet, took significant damage, resulting in crew casualties. Despite the damage, the B-32 was able to return to base, but not without a significant loss. During the attack, several crew members were wounded, including the photographer Staff Sergeant Joseph Lecheret, who suffered severe leg wounds. Lecheret's assistant, Sergeant Anthony Marchand, tried to assist Lecheret, but was fatally wounded during the attack. Sergeant Marchand was the last American to die in air combat during the war. Maintenance and logistics. The intricate design of the B-32 Dominator introduced substantial challenges in maintenance and logistics. The aircraft's complexity necessitated specialized components and intricate systems, rendering maintenance tasks time-consuming and demanding. Moreover, the requirement for skilled personnel proficient in managing the multi-phased systems further compounded the logistical burden. These challenges were particularly pronounced in remote or less developed areas where the availability of necessary resources and expertise was limited. As a result, sustaining the B-32's operational readiness in such environments proved very difficult and often led to extended downtime, adversely affecting its overall effectiveness in combat situations. Obsolete role and evolving tactics. The B-32 Dominator's initial design as a high-altitude strategic bomber became a disadvantage due to shifting wartime tactics. By the time the B-32 entered operational service, the focus of strategic bombing had transitioned to lower-altitude precision attacks that offered greater accuracy and effectiveness against specific targets. The B-32's specialization in high-altitude operations rendered it less suited to these evolving tactics, diminishing its relevance in the rapidly changing landscapes of World War II warfare. Competition with B-29 and procurement challenges. The B-32's operational viability was further hampered by the presence of the B-29 Superfortress, which had already established itself as the primary heavy bomber for the United States Army Air Force. The internal competition between the B-32 and the proven B-29 led to challenges in justifying the procurement and deployment of the B-32. The B-29 had demonstrated its capabilities, reliability, and familiarity with operational crews, making it a preferred choice for strategic bombing missions. The need for limited resources during wartime, coupled with the B-29's established success, hindered the B-32's ability to secure the necessary support and attention, ultimately restricting its production numbers and deployment in active combat zones. With the war ended, the B-29 proving successful and only 118 examples built, it was decided to stop production and to scrap the remaining airframes. The last surviving B-32 Dominator was destroyed in 1949. However, several of the unique A-17 turrets that were featured on the B-32 survive at museums around the country. These are the only enduring legacy of the short-lived B-32 Dominator.